Day 11 of running 10k a day for 30 days. And today we're going to talk about motivation because, to be quite frank, I don't really want to be running today, but I think it's a good topic to cover. So there are a few reasons why I've managed to get out today despite not being motivated. And number one is this challenge that I have, 10k a day for 30 days, is one that I set for myself to see if I can do it, because I know it's going to be hard. I know there'll be days like this where I don't feel like it. And I want to know if I can physically do it. Because it's not the easiest, running 10k a day for 30 days. You know, a lot of fatigue builds up. But also mentally, it's hard to do because 10k a day for 30 days. I mean, I've been lucky we haven't had any miserable weather yet. But I know when that happens, that'll be another challenge. And I want to know if I can do it mentally. But this challenge is something that I've chosen to do for myself. It's not something that's been imposed on me. You know, I did a reel slating the Berlin Marathon and how so many influencers were upset with their time. And I think part of the problem a lot of people have with motivation is they try to do something that isn't something they want to do for themselves. And it's extrinsic motivation. They're not doing it for themselves, they're doing it because they think they should do it. So tip number one is, whatever your goal is, whether it's health, fitness, exercise, building a business, what are the intrinsic reasons? What are the reasons you want to do it for you or for your family? That's number one, because in my mind, even though I knew I wasn't motivated, there was no question about whether I was going to do it or not. But I almost decided to do it in the gym on a treadmill and without my camera, so I wouldn't be recording this video today. But the reason why that isn't the case is because my wife, Katie, thank you, kept me accountable to get outside and do it outside. I messaged her saying I was tired, I'm going to head to the gym to do the 10k there. She called me and she was like, no, go outside, it's a lovely day, light breeze, you'll be happy that you did. And annoyingly, 3.5k in, she's right. It's not annoying. To be honest, she's always right. It just takes me a period of time to understand that she is. But that is the power of having somebody else hold you accountable to your goals. And not somebody who lets you get away with it, but really does say, come on, this is what you want for yourself. This is what you need to do. Another way I kind of think of that to motivate myself, particularly on the long ultras, I ask myself in a difficult period, what do I want to tell Bo and Poppy? What kind of man do I want them to think I am? And what actions are associated with that? And again, that taps into my intrinsic drive. And that helps a lot too. But it's important to know that motivation and action is a bi-directional relationship. Most people think it's one directional. When you're motivated, you take action. As soon as I put my trainers on and I was out the door, there's no question this 10k is getting done. And that's because that little bit of action then boosts motivation. So if you ever feel like motivation isn't there, think about the smallest action you can take to get you on your journey, to get you going, to get you one step closer. Leaving your gym clothes out the night before, so when you wake up you just have to put them on. Little things like that help a lot too. Sometimes it's hard to be motivated if the task is too big, in which case you break it down into smaller chunks. So for me, I just focused on running to the end of the road and then running down the next road and then running down the river. And now we're here in the countryside. It's lovely. But even if it's a work project, just breaking that down into smaller chunks and then just tackling each one after the other. I also told myself on this run, like, it's okay to go slow. I'm not looking to do a PB. Take it easy. The goal is 10k and the goal is to try and enjoy as much as possible. That means I don't need to go fast, I just need to go. But I'll share some of the reasons why I'm not so motivated today as well, because that's important as well. You can very much determine how much or how little you're motivated based on a couple of factors. And number one is sleep. I actually woke up at 4 a.m. this morning because Bo was calling me. So I went into his room and then he fell asleep, but was kind of kicking me a bit. So then I got up. So I haven't had as much sleep, which definitely affects motivation. And the other reason I've not been as motivated today is because I've worked a lot today. So it's currently 2:45, and I worked from about 4:30 till 6, and then from 8:30 all the way through to about 2:30, non-stop. I didn't have any rest, really. I came out of the office to have lunch and a snack, but then I was sort of straight back in. So I didn't really have much time to decompress, and that solid focus is fine when you're in the flow. But if you do it for too long, it's going to affect your motivation later on in the day. And that's kind of what I've experienced. That's why I found it hard to get out the door. But like I said, now I'm here. Like, it's going to happen. Because you can't always rely on motivation, it helps a lot if you plan your workouts in, or whatever it is you need to do, you plan it in. Because when that time then comes around, you know you need to do it. So then you don't need to rely on motivation as much. Because it's not, shall I do it now, shall I not? I'm feeling up to it, let's go. It's, well, this is my only chance to do this today, so I better crack on. Another good tip is setting your environment up for success. If your problem is biscuits late in the evening, well, two things. One, go to bed when you're tired, then you won't be downstairs able to get biscuits. And two, don't buy biscuits. Problem solved. If you haven't got them there, you can't eat them. Other environmental things are packing your gym bag, so you've got that with you, or always having a 2-litre bottle on your desk, so you're more likely to drink throughout the day. But there's a little brain dump on motivation and how not to rely on it, and how to not fix it, but work with it, really. A quick fire round after that is, I'd say if you eat well, you'll be more motivated. If you sleep well, you'll be more motivated. And if you exercise, motivation will go up. Shock horror, it all comes down to looking after yourself. But like I said, one of the best things for motivation is accountability and having someone in your corner who cares. And I know I've talked about my coaching a lot, but honestly, it makes such a big difference. And a lot of the results that my clients get is down to that accountability, knowing that I'll check their food diary, I'll ask them how their week's been, and we'll look at their training program together. And that's enough for them to think, oh, come on, what do I want to tell Chris in my weekly check-in? For them to then go out and do what they need to do. And then it's only a matter of time before they feel better, and then they want to do it for themselves, which is where intrinsic motivation takes over, and then it sticks, which is very important. But hopefully this brain dump of motivation helped, and follow along. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and I'll check in when the run's done. Day 11, done. I regret not doing it earlier because I feel so much better now.